We've all traveled through the Douluo world, so I'll go to the Divine Seal Throne. Opening Beginner Gift Pack. Ding, the 6 major profession gift packages are ready. Please choose a profession for the host. Occupation 1. Knight, with a bonus of light attribute, 100% awakening of the physical condition of the Son of Light. Occupation 2. Warrior, comes with Berserker talent, Giant Spirit inheritance, Giant Spirit shield. Occupation 3. Assassin, comes with bonus dark attribute bonuses, space attribute bonuses, percentage awakened reincarnation child constitution. Occupation 4. Pastor, gifted with life element bonus, 100% awakening of the physical constitution of the Son of Life. Occupation 5. Mage, comes with all elemental affinity and spiritual power bonuses, fully comprehends the field of magic potions. Occupation 6. Summoner, gifted with soul strength bonus, gateway to life, 100% awakening of soul's child constitution. System, I choose Knight. Ding, the profession chosen by the host is. I choose knights, warriors, assassins, priests, wizards, summoners. Ding, the professions chosen by the host are. Knight, warrior, assassin, pastor, magician, summoner. When there is a bug in the system, seize the opportunity and clean up the wool all at once. At the beginning, I met Cai'er who was being chased and started deceiving him. From now on. Introduction is weak, please move to the main text, keywords of the novel. Divine Seal. Taking advantage of Cai'er's trial, deceiving her into becoming a wife without a pop-up window. Divine Seal. Taking advantage of Cai'er's trial, deceiving her into becoming a wife. Complete download of TXT. Divine Seal. Taking advantage of Cai'er's trial, deceiving her into becoming a wife. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1, Everyone has gone to Douluo. Then my Divine Seal of King's Landing. Starting from the new book. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1, Everyone has gone to Douluo. Then my Divine Seal of King's Landing. New book set sail. Holy Demon Continent. In a forest behind the hidden village, a young man who appeared to be only 7 or 8 years old sat on the ground with a bewildered expression, his head covered in blood. Hiss, why does your head hurt so much? Suddenly, a strange memory came to mind. It is obvious that the back of the original owner's head hit a stone. GG. The Holy Demon Continent. Sleeping Trough. Have I traveled to the world of Divine Seals? It shouldn't be, others' travels are all about going to Douluo. Why did I run for the Divine Seal? Ding, the Divine Seal system is being activated. Ding, the Divine Seal system has been activated and is currently detecting host information. Name. Yuntian, age. 8, innate spiritual power. 30, race. Mixed race of humans and demons, occupation. Unknown. Please confirm your personal information and automatically bind it once it is confirmed to be correct. Yuntian was instantly excited. Although he didn't go to Douluo world, the Divine Seal world was not bad at all. The most important thing was having the golden finger. Isn't that invincible? System, there is a problem with your data, and it is a serious problem. Please raise the issue and the system will make corrections. Firstly, since I am a human, why do you call me a hybrid of humans and demons? Do you have any evidence? Have you undergone DNA testing? I have nothing to say, so your data is not at all true, and there is also the innate spiritual power. I have 100 points, how can you write a 30 point? I know it's your first time becoming a system, and it's a bit unfamiliar. It's also my first time traveling, isn't it? So, we need to cooperate well and conquer this world together. After I am invincible, I will take you to play in other worlds. You will be the first system in history to travel through countless worlds. How's it going? Isn't it really impressive? After 3 breaths of silence, the sound echoed in Yintian's mind again. Host data correction in progress, name. Yuntian, age. 8, spiritual power. 100, innate spiritual power. 100, race. Mixed race of humans and demons, occupation. None, the information is confirmed to be correct and is currently being bound by the system. Sleeping slot, really modified. Wait for the system, there are still issues with the data. The system did not provide any response this time. It's over, the only chance of an invincible start is gone. Originally, Yuntian wanted to give it a try, but unexpectedly, the system actually changed its spiritual power to 100 points. Regret it. Regret. I changed my TM directly to 99999 plus spiritual power, changed my race to God, and changed my profession to God Seal. Isn't that invincible? This story tells us that when we can collect wool, please clean it all at once, otherwise we will regret it later. Just as Yuntian was waiting for the system to respond, a popping sound came from behind, startling him and instantly standing up to look towards the back. This is the forest inside the Divine Seal throne, unlike Blue Star which only has small insects and snakes. There are monsters here. Yuntian looked towards the place where the sound was coming from, and not far away, he vaguely saw a petite figure, as if he had fallen to the ground. Yuntian picked up a wooden stick on the ground and cautiously walked over slowly. After only a few steps it was clear that it was not a monster, but a little girl. The girl looked about the same height as herself, with a very petite body and short purple hair. The purple robe on his body was damaged in multiple places, and the damaged areas were stained red with fresh blood. Although she fell to the ground, she was still conscious and struggling to stand up. Yuntian quickly ran forward and helped her. Why are you a little girl running into the forest? Do you know it's very dangerous in the forest? What about your parents? The little girl instinctively wanted to withdraw her hand and turned her head to look at the sky. Looking at each other, the pupils in the cloudy sky shrink slightly. This little girl must have seen her somewhere before. Where have you seen it before? Divine Seal World, Divine Seal Sleeping Trough. I remember. Yesterday, I bored myself and clicked on the anime of the Divine Seal throne. With this design, it's not just the strongest assassin in the future of the Divine Seal world. Saint Cai'er. Yun Tianxia's consciousness was shattered, and Cai'er's eyes were filled with stubbornness and coldness. That's right, this look is definitely Saint Cai'er's without a doubt. Is it possible that the current timeline is when Cai'er is being pursued? If I remember correctly, Cai'er would have run all the way to Odin Town and was eventually saved by Long Haochen. Cai'er quickly calmed down when she saw the gentle gaze in Yuntian's eyes. Are you okay? Yuntian asked again. Cai'er hesitated for a moment, grabbed one hand of Yuntian, and then began writing in the palm of his hand. There are bad people trying to catch me, I can't speak, sister. Can you save me? Seeing what was said earlier, it once again confirmed Yuntian's speculation that the little girl in front of him was Cai'er. After seeing Cai'er write about his sister, Yuntian suddenly became calm. Did he have to travel to a woman? Fortunately, it's a man. Not good, they're chasing after us. Yuntian had just finished reading Cai'er's words, and the next second a group of black-clothed people broke through the air and appeared in front of them. These black-clad people are all very tall and have a fishy smell emanating from their bodies. Yuntian looks a bit strange at this group of people. Isn't it a pack of wolves in the anime? Has this group of werewolves evolved? Oh no. If it were a wolf, I might still be able to cope with 100 points of spiritual power now, but this group is all transformed monsters. Yuntian reached out and pulled Cai'er behind to protect him, holding a stick and posing for battle. Yuntian is a world boxing champion with rich combat experience, although he has never fought a life or death battle. Little kid, haven't your elders taught you before? Don't be a hero without strength. Yun Tian cursed inwardly, threw away the wooden stick in his hand, and instantly disappeared into place, punching the person in black who was speaking. Bang! The man in black didn't expect Yun Tian to take the initiative to attack, let alone his speed, which was so fast that he was punched away by Yun Tian. The next second, the sky flew back like a shell. Kid, you're brave enough to beat up my subordinates in front of me. Yun Tian half knelt in front of Cai'er and spat out a mouthful of blood. Damn it, we're launching a surprise attack and fighting back. At least 3 ribs are broken. Damn it. Cai'er saw Yun Tian spitting blood and disappeared in place in an instant. The next second, she appeared behind the man in black, stabbing the dagger at his neck. The man in black grinned and reached out to grab Cai'er's wrist. With a strong flick, Cai'er's body flew towards the clouds like a shell. Seeing this, Yun Tian quickly jumped up and hugged Cai'er, but the impact was too strong. The two of them flew straight towards the back and hit the tree trunk fiercely. Yun Tian spewed out another mouthful of blood, with a few drops of blood dripping onto Cai'er's cheek. My waist. Cai'er helped Yun Tian up and quickly wrote, I'm sorry, it was me who caused you trouble. Yun Tian smiled and reached out to wipe away the blood stains on Cai'er's face, shaking his head. Don't be afraid, I will protect you. Ding, system binding successful, gift host newbie gift package. Is the host enabled? Open. The system, came at the right time. Opening beginner gift pack, ding, the 6 major profession gift packages are ready. Please choose a profession for the host, Occupation 1. Knight, with a bonus of light attribute, fully awakens the physical fitness of the Son of Light. Career 2. P.S. At the request of readers, we have created a book friend group. 7222622964, this content was added on March 10, end of this chapter. Chapter 2. Multiple choice questions. No. This is a multiple-choice question. Request for recommendation ticket. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 Multiple choice questions. No. This is a multiple-choice question. Please recommend a monthly ticket. Occupation 2. Warrior, comes with Berserker talent, Giant Spirit Inheritance, and Giant Spirit Shield, Occupation 3. Assassin, comes with a bonus of dark and spatial attributes, and a percentage of awakened reincarnation child's physical fitness. Occupation 4. Pastor, gifted with life element bonus, 100% awakening of the physical constitution of the Son of Life, Occupation 5. Mage, comes with all elemental affinity and spiritual power bonuses, 100% understanding of the magic potion field, Occupation 6. Summoner, comes with soul strength bonus, gateway to life, 100% awakening of the soul's child's physical constitution. The information about the big gift package came to Yuntian's mind, and he finished browsing it all in an instant. System, I choose Knight, ding, the occupation chosen by the host is, I choose Knights, Warriors, Assassins, Priests, Wizards, Summoners. A smile curved around Yuntian's mouth. This system has a serious bug, and after the last lesson, Yuntian understood a truth. That is to say, as long as the system provides a chance to pull wool, it must be pulled all at once. Ding, the professions chosen by the host are Knight, Warrior, Assassin, Pastor, Magician, Summoner. In the process of distributing career rewards, reward distribution completed, please host check. Host. Yuntian, age. 8, spiritual power. 100, innate spiritual power. 100, race. Mixed race of humans and demons, occupation. Concurrently pursuing 6 major professions, talent. Madness, magic medicine field, equipment. Giant spirit shield, skill. Gate of life, constitution. Son of light, son of reincarnation, son of life, son of soul, Yun Tian took a long breath and felt the various forces flowing inside his body, instantly feeling invincible. A steady stream of vitality flowed through all four limbs, and Yun Tian's injuries instantly recovered. Cai'er was slightly taken aback, feeling a constant stream of vitality in her palm repairing her body. She looked up at Yun Tian, feeling somewhat puzzled. Yun Tian smiled at Cai'er and touched her head with the other hand, whispering, "You rest well. I'll go and deal with them before I can heal you." Yun Tian casually took the dagger from Cai'er's hand and then disappeared into place. Cai'er was taken aback, he actually took his own dagger. How could it be possible? That is not an ordinary dagger, but a transformed sword of reincarnation. After merging with the reincarnation sword, only oneself can use it in this world, which is a divine artifact. But how could he activate the sword of reincarnation? The man in black across the street saw the clouds disappear, his gaze fixed, and at such a fast pace, he didn't even catch his figure. "Be careful, boss." Suddenly, a warning sound came from behind the person in black. Damn it! When he realized it was already too late, the monster instinctively told it that the opponent's attack was unavoidable, and a threat of death emerged from behind. Yun Tian had already arrived behind it, and a dagger was only a few centimeters away from the neck of the man in black. Puff! A dagger fiercely penetrated the back of the man in black's neck. Puzzy! After a stab, it was instantly pulled out, and Yun Tian's figure disappeared once again. The next second he appeared in front of the black-clothed man, and another knife pierced his throat. The black-clothed man's eyes were filled with shock, disbelief, and unwillingness. Yun Tian withdrew the dagger, disappeared again, and came to Cai'er. Whoosh! I took a few consecutive breaths before my heart rate stabilized. It's too exciting. This is Yun Tian's first time killing a demon. No, it's his first time killing a demon. Yun Tian did not know his current strength, nor did he know the strength of his opponent, so when he assassinated the man in black, he exerted his only current ability to the extreme. "You human, you dare to kill our boss. Let's all go together and kill this little rabbit. Let that girl go first and avenge our boss." The other 5 black-clothed men all mobilized and attacked the sky. "You step back and protect yourself, and I'll kill them first." Cai'er reached out to grab Yun Tian, as if wanting to say something, but Yun Tian's movements were too fast and he had already disappeared before he could say anything. The boss who just assassinated the man in black was actually lucky, because Yun Tian managed to successfully assassinate him with all his might while the other party was slacking off. Now facing 5 black-clothed men, Yun Tian will abandon the urge to activate life elements to repair his physical strength, and instead use all his spiritual power for speed and strength. Speed is the core attribute of an assassin, and it is easy to conceal their body shape in the forest with many trees. Although Yun Tian has not learned any assassin skills, with this speed, he can also make up for the deficiency of not hiding his body shape. Puzzy. One cut. Puzzy. Another blow. 5 black-clothed men were still locking onto Yun Tian's position, but were assassinated one by Yun Tian. After 3 breaths, the 5 black-clothed men were all stabbed a few times. Everyone gathered back to back. This kid is very fast and cannot be given a chance to break through one by one. Yun Tian stood on the treetop, watching the 5 people below guard their surroundings back to back, his gaze becoming slightly solemn. I didn't expect these werewolves to be so smart. Yun Tian feels that there is only 30% spiritual power left in his body. If his spiritual power is exhausted, it will be terrible and he cannot continue to consume it with them. Yun Tian closed his eyes, and when he opened them again, his eyes turned red, and his entire aura instantly surged. Crazy. After becoming insane, the cloud sky burned spiritual power, instantly elevating its strength and speed to a higher level. Crazy transformation can only last for 3 minutes, and must be fought and decided quickly. Yun Tian locked his target on the heavily injured black-clothed man, disappeared in an instant, and stabbed him in the throat with a knife. As soon as Yun Tian approached, he was locked in by 5 people, but his speed was too fast. The temporarily strengthened defense of the locked black-clothed man was fragile and shattered in an instant, with a dagger fiercely piercing its throat. Man in Black. 1. The black-clothed man on its right side was the first to react and thrust his claws towards Yun Tian's neck. Yun Tian clenched his fist in his left hand and faced the sharp claw. On his right side, another sharp claw attacked. He withdrew his dagger and blocked it on his right side. Puff. Hush. A painful sensation came from Yun Tian's abdomen. Yun Tian lowered his head and saw a wolf claw halfway through his abdomen. I was still careless, but I didn't expect that this werewolf would not hesitate to break open the flesh of his companions and cause himself to die. The 2 sharp claws on the left and right fell, causing the sky to soar a few meters and hit the ground. Yun Tian had 3 paw marks on the back of his left hand, and he could vaguely see the bones inside the skin and flesh. The tiger's mouth on his right hand had already cracked and blood was flowing. The severe abdominal pain made Yun Tian feel numb, and the life elements in his body could no longer be mobilized because his spiritual power was about to be exhausted, and his madness had been broken by the just blow. Yun Tian sat up with difficulty and said, I feel like my head is a bit heavy. I can't do it anymore. The next second, Yun Tian's eyes turned black and he lost his center of gravity and fell backwards. Yun Tian finally felt a faint fragrance and seemed to have fallen into Cai'er's arms. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Assassin's Temple. Sun. Seeking tickets. Seeking collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3 Assassin's Temple. Sun. Requesting votes. Requesting collection. Cai'er looked at Yun Tian, who had fainted in her arms, and then looked at the man in white standing across from her, gesturing with both hands a few times. The man in white sighed, and a white light shone from his chest, faintly visible in the shape of a small furnace, with a faint blue flame shining in the furnace. The man in white stretched out 2 fingers, wiped them against the blue flame, and then quickly landed on Yun Tian. After a moment, the man in white withdrew his hand, the flames disappeared, and the white light did not enter the man in white. His eyes also showed a hint of fatigue. All right, for the sake of his desperate efforts to save you, I have cured him and combed through 12 meridians in his body. Once all impurities are eliminated, his physique should improve by a certain level. Your trial has ended, let's go back. As he spoke, the man in white slowly stood up and waved at Cai'er. Cai'er didn't come over immediately, but squatted down and took off a blue ring with a golden don't forget me pattern from her hand, putting it on Yun Tian's left middle finger. The originally small ring, when worn on Yun Tian's fingers, actually grew a bit larger and perfectly matched his fingers. Cai'er, how can you? The man in white exclaimed in surprise, but before he could finish speaking, he received Cai'er's persistent and stubborn gaze. Then he made a few strokes towards the white-clothed man. Impossible, you have already given him forget-me-not, and will take him to the assassin's temple. The temple master cannot agree. Moreover, this kid has the talent for madness, which makes him more suitable for going to the warrior temple. Cai'er shook her head, her gaze fixed on Yun Tian, and then she made a few more strokes. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Cai'er, you don't have to lie to me just to let me take him back. Even I can't urge the sword of reincarnation. How could he possibly? Cai'er just said that Yun Tian could use his reincarnation sword, but the person in white was surprised and immediately rejected it. Cai'er lied to take this kid back, that's all. Let's take him back and see how the temple master decides. The man in white sighed and said, let's take him back first to test his innate spiritual power, and then the temple master will decide whether to stay in the assassin's temple or send him to the warrior's temple. Cai'er nodded, then the man in white grabbed Cai'er and Yun Tian, and disappeared into the forest with one under his arm. On the ground, the bodies of 6 black-clothed men lay on the ground, with 4 of them split in half from their waist and the other 2 pierced through their throats. Holy Demon Continent, Assassin's Temple. The door was pushed open, and a dim light shone into the Assassin's Temple. Cai'er walked ahead, while the white-clothed man walked behind Yuntian. Congratulations to the Virgin. Congratulations to the Virgin. Suddenly, the abbot above the temple stood up and spoke faintly, I'm back. The man in white threw Yuntian to the ground and said, this kid is willing to sacrifice his life to save Cai'er. He also has a talent for madness. It would be more appropriate to send him to the warrior temple, but Cai'er insisted that I bring him back. He even said that this kid can use the reincarnation sword to deceive me. The man wearing a mask on the main hall's face froze and instantly came to Yuntian. In these 7 years, Cai'er has either remained silent or spoken very frankly, but has never told a lie. Cai'er was raised by herself, how could she not understand? If what Cai'er said is true, then this little guy, the whole person of Yuntian, was uncontrollably suspended. Cai'er came to Holy Moon in an instant and reached out a hand to block her. I won't harm him. Since you said he can activate the sword of reincarnation, I need to check. Suddenly, Holy Moon seemed to feel something incredible and didn't continue speaking. One hand was placed on Yuntian's head, and at this moment Yuntian sat cross-legged. How could it be? How could it be? 108 spiritual powers. He actually has the aura of the Son of Reincarnation in his body. No wonder, if that's the case, it makes sense to be able to activate the sword of reincarnation. The man in white shrank his pupils and looked up at the clouds. As the deputy head of the Assassin's Temple and also the head of the heroic guest hall, he is most aware of what a 100-point innate spiritual power represents and knows better what the meaning of the Son of Reincarnation is. 3,000 years ago, the Assassin's Temple gave birth to a peerless superpower with an innate spiritual power of 91 points, who was revered as the Son of Reincarnation. Back then, the Son of Reincarnation, relying on his extraordinary talent and strength, killed the previous demon emperor with one sword. Although he ultimately died in a fierce battle, he dealt a heavy blow to the demon emperor with his own strength. That was the closest in human history to killing the demon emperor, and 3,000 years later, no such person appeared again. Cai'er, with an innate spiritual power of up to 93, has merged with the reincarnation furnace and the sword of reincarnation to increase her innate spiritual power to 100. She has become the only person after the Son of Reincarnation to complete the unfinished work of the Son of Reincarnation, and is likely to become a ray of hope for ending this dark era. Yuntian, without the fusion of the spiritual furnace, the innate inner spiritual power can reach up to 100 points, which is the true innate inner spiritual power of 100 points. The most crucial thing is that Yuntian possesses the constitution of the reincarnation sun without undergoing the reincarnation trial, which is an innate constitution. If the winning rate of Cai'er ending this dark era is 60%, then Yuntian has a winning rate of 90% or even higher. The Son of Reincarnation with 108 spiritual powers, the first person in the Holy Demon Continent before anyone else. And he can activate the Sword of Reincarnation, which means that in the future, both Cai'er and Yuntian can take turns fighting against the demon god emperor. Ha ha ha. God bless my human race. Now I, the Assassin's Temple Reincarnation Saint, am undergoing a reincarnation trial, and now there is another reincarnation sun appearing. Demon Clan. Dark Age. It's time to end. Send my command, today's matter cannot be spread externally, otherwise it will be executed to death. Obey me. Yuntian frowned and slowly opened his eyes. I was sleeping soundly, but who was shouting and waking me up here? Yuntian looked up and saw a masked, black guy standing in front of him, with one hand still gripping his head, constantly exuding a murderous aura, which startled him. Xingyu spoke up and said, "What is your name?" Cloudy Sky. In the future, you can practice with me. I will teach you the skills and knowledge to cultivate assassins. You can call me teacher. Ding, it has been detected that the assassin's temple master, Holy Moon, is accepting disciples. If the host agrees, they will receive a reward. Yes, teacher. Yun Tian agreed without even thinking about it. Don't waste any rewards. Besides, for the sake of picking children, it's not right. For the sake of the human race, we also need to study and practice hard. Okay. Send my command, from today on, Yun Tian will be my assassin, the holy son of the temple. Obedience. We will see the holy sun. Yun Tian's heart thumped as he was struck by the rumbling sound inside the hall. Did you just take a nap and become the saint of the assassin's temple? It seems that Shengyue Ken discovered his innate spiritual power of 100, so he decided to take himself as his disciple and bestow the title of Holy Son upon him. Suddenly, Yun Tian thought of something, wouldn't he also have to undergo reincarnation trials? Yun Tian knew the terror of the reincarnation trial, but soon breathed a sigh of relief. Now that Cai'er has integrated the reincarnation spirit furnace and the reincarnation sword, it is naturally impossible for him to enter the reincarnation trial, and he is already the son of reincarnation's constitution. Yun Tian, from today on, you and Cai'er will receive training together. Yun Tian breathed a sigh of relief, and Cai'er, who was not far away, also breathed a sigh of relief. Ding, the host has completed the task and rewards are being distributed. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Cai'er is mine. New books for recommendation and collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Cai'er is mine. New books for recommendation and collection. Tickets. Ding, the host has completed the task. Reward 1. Sword of Reincarnation, brand new flawless replica, reward 2. Reincarnation Spirit Stove, new flawless remastered edition, tip. Although the reward equipment is a replica version, there is no difference in the effect. The reincarnation trial will start in 7 days. Latest task. Gain a favorable rating of 90 or above for Cai'er, current favorable rating is 78. Task reward. Exempt from the suffering of 6 senses round loss. Yuntian's mood is like riding a roller coaster, with ups and downs. If you suffer from the loss of the 6 senses, it's better not to give up this reward. Fortunately, this task is not difficult, it's only 12 points short of favorability. 7 days should be enough time. Cai'er, you come first. A dagger appeared in Cai'er's hand, instantly releasing a cold murderous aura all over her body, and then a knife landed on the detection stone pillar. Ding! The stone pillar shook for a moment, and the blue stripes lit up, rising all the way until a string of numbers appeared. 190.5. Not bad, Cai'er has broken through to level 2 and 10 this time, and it won't be long before she can break through to level 3. Ing Suifeng nodded and then looked at Yun Tian. Xiao Tian, you can also test it. Just mobilize all your spiritual power and hit the detector with full force, just like Cai'er did just now. Yun Tian nodded and said, Cai'er, can I borrow your dagger? Shadow followed the wind and his eyes lit up instantly. He regretted not being there earlier to see the scene of Yun Tian using the sword of reincarnation in battle. When he arrived, Yun Tian had just exited his frenzied state and fainted. At that time, the dagger had already returned to Cai'er's hand, and he did not pay attention to this detail. Cai'er dissipated the murderous aura around her and walked up to Yun Tian, without hesitation handing him the dagger. After Yun Tian took the dagger, Cai'er held his hand and wrote 2 words in the palm of his hand. Come on. Yun Tian reached out and touched Cai'er's head. Cai'er didn't dodge and spoke very gently, Don't worry, Cai'er. I'm very skilled, and I will always be by your side to protect you from now on. Ding, favorability +2, current favorability. 80, cough, Xiao Tian, let's go test it. Ing Suifeng saw this scene and suddenly her focus was no longer on the sword of reincarnation. Instead, she felt like her own flowers were about to be arched by a pig. Good shadow uncle. Yun Tian walked up to the testing stone pillar, grabbed the dagger, and his spiritual power instantly boiled. The dagger was covered by spiritual power and he struck the stone pillar with a knife. Ding! The collision between the dagger and the stone pillar made a piercing sound, and the blue stripes on the pillar began to rise. 120.8. Second level and third level, Xiaotian, you broke through to second level and third level at such a young age, and it's still without any training. With your talent, I'm afraid it won't be long before you catch up with Cai'er. Ing Suifeng nodded with satisfaction, but her heart was extremely excited. This is the true son of reincarnation. With 100 points of innate spiritual power, can your talent not be high? Even if Yun Tian witnessed the use of the reincarnation sword with his own eyes, Ing Suifeng was still somewhat incredulous, because in history, there have never been two reincarnation sons with constitutions. Now that Yun Tian can freely use the reincarnation sword, it is enough to prove the constitutions of his reincarnation sons. Uncle Ing, don't worry, I will double my efforts to surpass Cai'er as soon as possible. Yun Tian handed the dagger to Cai'er and said. Well, not bad, having confidence is a good thing, only in this way can I protect Cai'er well. Yun Tian smiled at Cai'er and said. Ding, favorability +1, current favorability. 81, Shadow almost spewed out old blood with the wind. What is this kid talking about? 8 out of 10 sentences are collected. If it weren't for Yun Tian's young age, now he would be a bit skeptical whether this kid intentionally approached Cai'er. The testing is complete, I'll take you to the Assassin's Training Ground. The Assassin Training Ground is a building located behind the Assassin's Temple, which has several areas with supporting training programs and venues from the 1st to the 5th level. Xiaotian, did you know that among the 6 major temples, the Assassin's Temple has the least number of people? In the eyes of other temples, we are all monsters and mysterious symbols. Due to the unique nature of the assassin profession, those who can enter the Assassin's Temple must have sufficient talent, abilities, and professional compatibility. Once entering the Assassin's Temple, it means facing more difficult training than the other 5 professions. In the Assassin's Temple, there are not so many rules, the only one is to complete daily training goals even if you have to work hard. Because on the battlefield, as an assassin, having the strongest attack power means that one's own defense will become the biggest flaw, either killing the target or being killed by the target. You and Cai'er, as the reincarnation sons and daughters of my assassin temple, have to put in thousands and hundreds of times more effort than others along the way. Ing Suifeng introduced Yun Tian to the situation of the Holy Demon Continent, the situation of the human race, and the mission he and Cai'er carried on their shoulders. Yun Tian went in one ear and out the other, playing with Cai'er all the time. So, Yun Tian. What are you doing? Have you listened carefully to what I'm saying? Ing Suifeng said to herself. Turning around, she saw Yun Tian making faces while circling around Cai'er. Uncle Ing, I've heard it all, always ready to fight for the future of the human race for life. Yun Tian said generously. Shadow shook her head with the wind, after all, Yun Genius is 8 years old. Let's guide him slowly in the future. Your master went to the headquarters of the Temple Alliance for some business, and I will arrange the training for these days. Today's task is very simple, just use the stab action to pierce the dummy. Yun Tian opened his eyes wide and looked at the iron lump-made chest in front of him. After tapping a few times, it turned out to be solid. Uncle Ing, are you sure this thing can pierce through? Otherwise. This is the most basic second-level assassin training program, and Cai'er only used 1 hour at the beginning. Yun Tian looked at Cai'er and raised his thumb. Cai'er, you're so amazing. It only took you an hour. Shadow Uncle must not have been as powerful as you back then. Shadow kicked Yun Tian's buttocks with the wind and said, if you flatter me, flatter me. Who allowed you to take me with you? Cai'er is the daughter of reincarnation, and her talent lies here. At that time, she was definitely not as talented as Cai'er, but her talent was not inferior, and it only took 1.5 hours. The clouds and sky looked reminiscent of the shadows and wind, no longer paying attention to him. Cai'er, lend me the dagger again, keep an eye on it. I will pierce through this iron knot within an hour. When? With a single stab, the vibration transmitted through the dagger instantly passed through Yun Tian's entire body, causing his teeth to tremble uncontrollably a few times. Is there a mistake? Can this iron knot really pierce through? I just boasted about piercing Haochen in an hour, so I lost confidence at the beginning. By the way, Cai'er will soon break through the 3rd level and go outside the exorcism pass to experience. If you want to accompany Cai'er, you must complete all the training projects for the 2nd level before Cai'er breaks through the 3rd level. After hearing the words of Shadow following the wind, Yun Tian was stunned for a moment. Not good. I got the timeline wrong. It was only when Cai'er broke through the 3rd level and went out to experience that I met Long Haochen's timeline. No, we can't let Cai'er go alone, we can't let Cai'er face danger alone. Cai'er is mine. I want to protect her. When? The crisp sound of impact rang out with ups and downs, and Ing Suifeng nodded in satisfaction. Sure enough, he still needed some stimulation. He didn't notice at all, and Cai'er behind him looked at Yun Tian with a faint smile. Ding, end of this chapter. Chapter 5. Is unlucky. Seeking monthly pass. Seeking collection. Seeking recommendation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Bad luck. Seeking monthly pass. Seeking collection. Seeking recommendation. Ding, favorability +2, current favorability. 83, boom. With a shattering sound, the solid iron block shaped like a chest was pierced by Yun Tian with a dagger. When? The dagger fell off and fell to the ground. Yun Tian sat down in response, panting heavily, and sweat rained down on the ground. Finally grasping this iron knot, shouldn't it have been more than an hour? Cai'er nodded, and a proud expression appeared on Yun Tian's face. Uncle Ing, how are you doing? What a pervert. This kid is really crazy. Surprisingly, it only took half an hour to complete. Not long ago, Cai'er broke the fastest record for this project with just 1 hour of results. It was only a few days ago that Yun Tian broke it again, and it was almost half an hour. Is this the horror of the son of reincarnation? Ing Suifeng looked at the sky like a monster and said, try to be strong. It didn't take more than an hour. Seize the time to recover your spiritual power and prepare for the next training program. Yun Tian's face turned black in an instant. With such a strong level of training, is it really risking one's life? For the next 3 days, Ing Suifeng stayed by Yun Tian's side to supervise the training. Speed, strength, body method, all training is repeated through very simple movements. The purpose is to engrave the essential skills of an assassin into their bones, gradually forming an instinctive response. During this period, Shadow followed the wind and arranged for Cai'er and Yun Tian to practice against each other. The difference in spiritual power and combat experience meant that every time Yun Tian was hanged and beaten by Cai'er. Assassin's Temple. Xiao Tian, you have passed all the training items for the 2nd level. Next, we need to verify the results of the 3-day training. Yun Tian nodded, looking back on the 3 days of training, only feeling like he had walked through hell once. Turning his gaze to Cai'er, he suddenly felt a bit heartbroken. He trained himself and Cai'er was with him. When Cai'er is conducting such dull and difficult training alone, there must be a lot of pain in losing her 6 senses, not only physically but also mentally. Now that Cai'er has broken through the 3rd level and is going out to experience, fortunately, I can accompany Cai'er and not let her bear the loneliness alone. In the past 3 days, Yun Tian has also worked hard to increase Cai'er's favorability towards him to 86, and he is only 4 points away from receiving a reward to avoid the pain of losing the 6 senses. Feeling the warmth in Yuntian's gaze, Cai'er showed a miraculous smile again. Ding, favorability +3, current favorability. 89, that smile was like expressing a feeling. I see all living beings are plants and trees, only you are a green mountain. In the past few days, Ing Suifeng also felt the changes in Cai'er. Since he saw Cai'er and smiled, he felt happy like a child in his heart. From the beginning of Cai'er's reincarnation trial, Ing Suifeng has been guarding Cai'er's side, watching with his own eyes as Cai'er gradually transforms from a lively and lovely little girl into a cold and ruthless machine. But with the wind, there's nothing I can do because the mission carried by Cai'er is too heavy. Ding. A crisp voice pulled Shadow's thoughts away from the wind, and he looked up at the detection instrument. The blue numbers made him exclaim in surprise. Hiss. 199, only one step away from the third order. In just 3 days, Yun Tian surprisingly increased his spiritual power by 71 points. That's great. The Lord of the Palace did not misjudge anyone. Such a talent must be able to break through the 5th level within 5 years, becoming the youngest 5th level in the whole continent. I originally decided to let you accompany Cai'er to experience, but now that you are only 1 step away from the 3rd level, I will go and tell the Temple Master to let you and Cai'er experience together, but the difficulty will correspondingly increase. You and Cai'er have a good rest today, and I will report to the Temple Master. After speaking with the wind, the shadow disappeared into place in an instant, seeming eager to inform the Temple Master of this good news. Cai'er, am I amazing? Yun Tian asked with a proud expression on his face. Cai'er nodded and then wrote in the palm of Yuntian's hand. Why are you different from others and treat me so well? Because I feel sorry for you. Actually, I was sent by heaven to protect you. Do you remember the scene when we first met a few days ago? Cai'er nodded, with a hint of anticipation in her eyes, staring at the sky. The first time I saw you, I had an impulse to protect you. I don't want to see anyone hurt you. Cai'er, you are the daughter of reincarnation and carry a heavy mission, so heaven sent me, the son of reincarnation, to share your burden. Do you think the names Reincarnation Daughter and Reincarnation Son match well? Cai'er thought for a moment, feeling that what Yun Tian said seemed very reasonable, and nodded. So Cai'er and I are also very compatible. We are like partners, so we must always be together, right? Cai'er continued to nod. Since we want to be together all the time, I must treat you well, take care of you, and protect you well, right? Cai'er nodded again. So Cai'er should also be good to me, and Cai'er should always be with me, okay? Got it, we're partners. Cai'er, actually the word partner doesn't sound good, there's a better name called husband. Xiao Tian, the Temple Master is very happy to know that you are about to break through the 3rd level. Considering that you are going to experience and the reincarnation sword Cai'er is being used, you do not have any weapons. The Temple Master instructed me to take you to the treasure pavilion to select a weapon as a reward. At the most critical moment when Yun Tian spoke, Ing Suifeng suddenly appeared and patted his shoulder, successfully interrupting his words. Yun Tian's face turned black in an instant, staring at Ing Suifeng and wishing to break him apart. Not bad. That's the look in your eyes. I didn't expect you to have grasped the essence of an assassin. As an assassin, always maintain a high level of vigilance and always lock onto anyone you face. Stop and stop, Shadow Uncle, stop talking and take me to pick weapons. Yun Tian sighed, it's really unlucky. Shadow followed the wind and brought the two to the treasure pavilion of the Assassin's Temple. There are various weapons and equipment belonging to assassins inside. The most common weapon among them is the dagger. There are also some relatively rare hooks, sickles, daggers, sword spikes, flying knives, etc. Shadow followed the wind and led the two to the top floor of the treasure trove. What is stored here is at its weakest and most glorious level. The quality of weapons and equipment is divided into ordinary, alloy, magic, spirit and magic, brilliance, legend, epic, immortality, artifact, pseudo-supernatural artifact, and supernatural artifact. Yuntian actually doesn't need it. He also has a replica of the reincarnation sword in his body, which is a genuine artifact. However, it's also good that I can't openly use the sword of reincarnation. Just choose a dagger, and when using the sword of reincarnation in the future, you only need to transform it into a different shape. Yun Tian then pointed to a dagger and said, "Let it be." Shadow took down the dagger with the wind and nodded, "This dagger is at the legendary level. If it is a general second-level weapon, let alone a brilliant level weapon, even a spirit and demon level weapon is difficult to control. However, you have the reincarnation sun constitution, so you should have no problem controlling this dagger. Give it a try." Yun Tian took the dagger, mobilized the spiritual power inside his body, and took advantage of the fact that the shadow was not paying attention to the wind, fully stabbed it towards its chest. Resulting, Suifeng held a dagger between his two fingers and smiled, "You want to assassinate me? Let's try again after you break through the 5th level." Yun Tianbai glanced back at the dagger and thought to himself, "I've written down today's incident. Let's see how I'll retaliate against you in the future." End of this chapter. Chapter 6. It's great to have you. Requesting votes. Requesting collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. It's great to have you. Requesting votes. Requesting collection. Exorcism Pass, Assassin's Temple Branch Hall. A boy in a black robe with a silver mask and a girl in a purple robe with purple hair on her shoulders and a black veil walked side by side into the Assassin's Temple. "Hello, please present your token." The young man took out the token and allowed the two of them to pass after the gatekeeper confirmed that the token was correct. The two of them arrived at the room where the teleportation array was located, where a middle-aged man with golden glasses was lying on a chair reading a book. "Hello, we need to borrow the teleportation array." The middle-aged man on the chair moved the book and glanced at the two of them, mocking them. "Do you know that the teleportation locations of this teleportation array are all border fortresses, and there are all demon tribes nearby? At a young age, you think you can kill the demon tribes with some skills. Young people nowadays just don't know the vastness of heaven and earth. They always feel that the training ground of our Assassin's Temple is dull and boring, and they want to fight against the demon clan." A middle-aged man named Su Hong has been managing this teleportation array for 10 years, and this situation has become commonplace. Su Hong closed the book in his hand, threw it away, and said, "I have never opposed hunting Warcraft and the demon clan, but the premise is to recognize whether you have this strength and give you 230 breaths. If you can snatch this book from my hand, you are allowed to use the teleportation array. Of course, I don't bully you either. I only use my 4th level strength, and I have a circle under my feet. If you can push me out of this circle, you will win." Su Hong stood up and took a step forward, and a white light appeared on the ground. "You may have misunderstood. This is what Shadow Uncle asked me to bring to you. We need to borrow a teleportation array to go out and experience this time." The young man took out a letter from the ring and handed it to Su Hong. Originally, Yun Tian was still eager to try and fight against the high-level assassin, but when he heard the other party say that he only used the 4th level strength, he gave up this idea. Su Hong was noticeably stunned when he heard the words, "Shadow Uncle." After reading the letter, he immediately jumped up from his chair. It turns out to be the Holy Sun and Holy Maiden. My subordinate Su Hong has met the Holy Sun and Holy Maiden. I apologize for any offense I made earlier. Yun Tian quickly helped Su Hong and said, "You are an elder. This is also to protect the future blood of our Assassin Temple. There is no reason to offend you. The Holy Sun is wise, I won't have much delay. Just stand in the center of the teleportation array, and I will activate it now. Yuntian nodded, feeling uncomfortable with this way of conversation. Without saying much, he took Cai'er to the center of the teleportation array. Shadow Lord explained in the letter that the goal of the Holy Sun and Holy Maiden's training this time is to hunt 10 third-level or 4th-level monsters per person, and the strength of the 4th-level monsters corresponds to the strength of our human race's 3rd level. The location of the teleportation is a border fortress located 5 kilometers away from Odin Town, where the strongest demon clan is only at level 3. I will start the teleportation now. Wishing the Holy Sun and Virgin a smooth experience this time. A white light suddenly lit up, covering the bodies of the two and then disappeared. After the two were teleported away, Su Hong awkwardly scratched his head. Hey, the Holy Sun is truly a Holy Sun. With such a high emotional intelligence at a young age, I almost lost my face. Wasn't it very imposing just now? Now you know how to be shameless. The next moment, the shadow appears with the wind, walking up and down the formation. See Lord Shadow. Just now, Alright, I don't have time to chat with you. Take me over. In a canyon on a certain border. Just now, the senior said that we each need to hunt 10 Warcraft or demon clans. The strength difference between the 3rd-level demon clan and us should not be significant. If we encounter someone who is left alone, we can directly strike and kill with all our might. Compared to the demon clan, Warcraft is not as intelligent and is better to kill. Cai'er nodded and the two walked towards the depths of the canyon. Warcraft and Warcraft are different. The realm of Warcraft is divided into 10 levels, similar to that of humans, while Warcraft is different. 2nd-level Warcraft is equivalent to 1st-level humans, and so on. Along the way, there were visible bones everywhere, including humans, monsters, and demons. Mu roar 2 cries came from not far ahead, and Yuntian and Cai'er exchanged a glance, quietly touching their hidden figures in perfect agreement. Stinky Flower Cat, I took the risk of snatching this wild boar from humans. Why should I split it with you in half? Old cow, this place is full of rotten meat and broken bones. It's been a long time since humans came, and my mouth is really greedy. I don't want more, only half. Get lost, don't even try to eat a bite. Stupid cow, don't force me. Those cowardly wolves are afraid of you, but I'm not afraid of you. If you have the ability, come and grab it. Behind a giant rock, Yuntian and Cai'er watched as the two demon tribes fought over a wild boar, refreshing Yuntian's understanding of the demon tribe. In Yuntian's understanding, the demon clan should be colluding in killing other creatures. I can't believe I've seen such a dramatic scene now. Cai'er, get rid of them. Let's roast wild boars and eat them one by one. Let's compete who's faster. How about that? Cai'er. Yuntian turned his head and saw only a purple shadow remaining in place. Roar. Ah. Humans. Conduct a surprise attack. The dagger pierced deeply into the head of the tiger demon clan, killing them with one blow. Cai'er jumped off it and stared at the cow across from her. Cai'er, if you don't talk about martial arts, I won't give you the roasted wild boar to eat. Yuntian murmured and rushed towards the cow with a single arrow step. The scene of the cow being assassinated by Cai'er was shocking, and before he could fully recover, he suddenly felt a stream of heat flowing down his forehead. My wild boar. Yuntian pulled out his dagger and said to Cai'er, Cai'er, I haven't finished speaking yet. Don't be so anxious next time. When Cai'er heard Yuntian say to kill them, she didn't hesitate to take action and didn't hear anything else. Cai'er, help me find some wood and some weeds, and I'll bake a wild boar for you to eat. Yuntian looked at the sturdy wild boar on the ground and took out a dagger to start dealing with it. Yuntian's hands and feet were very agile. When he returned, he had already scraped off all the fur on the wild boar and cut off all the lean meat with exquisite knife skills. Then a few stones were found, and wood was erected to create a primitive barbecue grill. After carefully polishing a slender stick, she strung all the meat and stood it up. Yun Tian snapped his finger and a small flame appeared at his fingertips, which was thrown into the pit by Yun Tian. Although I have not studied magic systematically, I still know the basic principles of magic. As long as you mobilize your spiritual power, capture the fluctuations of the fire elements around you, and then gather them together, the small flames can come out. So if you want to become a magician, there is room for negotiation on all other conditions, except for the affinity for elements. Cai'er sat on the stone beside her, with her hands propped up on her head, quietly watching the clouds bustling around. Half an hour later, a scent of meat spread everywhere. Yun Tian excitedly took out the ultimate seasoning he had spent a day preparing. Cumin powder. As cumin powder was sprinkled on the roasted pork, this skewer of roasted pork was infused with soul. Yun Tian cut a small piece of meat and came to Cai'er. Cai'er, open your mouth. Come and give it a try. Cai'er obediently opened her mouth, and the fresh and tender meat was put into her mouth by Yun Tian. Taking a light bite, Cai'er's eyes lit up and she felt like she had opened the door to a new world. Since Cai'er was sent by Holy Moon to a cold and dark cave at the age of 3 to bear the 7 days of fear filled with darkness, all her relatives have been just a name code for Cai'er. In their eyes, Cai'er is not a relative, but a cold weapon. From then on, no one else, like Yun Tian, personally cooked for her, let alone fed her into her mouth. Gudu. After swallowing it, Cai'er grabbed Yun Tian's hand and wrote 4 words. It's great to have you. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Die for Me. New book for tickets. Collection for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Die for Me. New book for tickets. Collection for collection. Yun Tian doted on Cai'er's head, took off his mask, and prepared to eat. Just at this moment. Ahem, it's delicious with meat. This smell is even better than the smell of humans. Is it some kind of heaven and earth spirit treasure? Boys, everyone has followed. Yun Tian heard a wolf cry and slapped himself in the mouth several times in a row. Let you be greedy, now that's good, the demon wolf has been attracted. Yun Tian quickly stuffed a large piece of meat into his mouth, and then put all the remaining grilled meat into the forget-me-not ring. It is a taboo to start a fire in the realm where the demon clan is present. Yun Tian is ready to roast meat here. These are all basic knowledge, which will be covered in the courses of every temple, even ordinary people have learned them. Yun Tian was completely overwhelmed by the pork. Yun Tian looked at Cai'er with an awkward expression. Cai'er shook her head and said it was okay. She was well aware that Yun Tian barbecue would attract Warcraft, but not only did she not stop it, but she also searched for wood and weeds. For her, doing so always felt an indescribable feeling, and it was a great feeling. Yun Tian chewed on his meat, put on his mask, and said, "The magic wolves are all collective actions of the tribe. I don't know how many will come. When the battle comes, I will be responsible for the main attack. You can harvest them, Cai'er." Cai'er nodded and stood up, her killing intent burst out in an instant, her gaze icy as she watched a group of black shadows gradually magnifying in the distance. After swallowing the grilled meat, Yun Tian showed a solemn expression. "If there are only a dozen or so, it's okay. The spiritual power of myself and Cai'er is completely sufficient, so I'm afraid that dozens will come instead of just a dozen. Once the spiritual power is exhausted, there is no doubt that one will die in this canyon. Ahem, hey kids, it's actually 2 humans grilling meat. Today we can have a full meal. Jia, you're so brave. You don't even consider us demon wolves. This is not human territory." 1, 2, 322, 23. There are actually 20.3 magic wolves. Cai'er, retreat first. We cannot engage in battle here. The terrain here is not suitable, so we must leave the canyon and go to the forest behind us. After speaking, the two of them rushed towards the direction of the forest at an extremely fast speed. Chase them all for me. If these two humans run away today, I'll stew you all. It's been a long time since I started eating meat, you sneak. Owl above the canyon, a figure in white looked at two galloping figures, one black and one purple, and smiled nonchalantly. They were all caused by greed. TSK 20.3 demon wolves, you guys feel good about it. After speaking, the figure in white disappeared above the canyon, nowhere to be found. Cai'er, hide your body after entering the forest. When the demon wolf leader enters the attack range, we will take action together and kill it first. Cai'er nodded and the two of them disappeared into the forest, one on the left and the other on the right. Yun Tian is not worried at all about the issue of tacit understanding. The training at the Assassin's Temple is professional, let alone training the Holy Son and Virgin. Even if there is a slight difference in prediction, Yun Tian is confident that he will take action immediately after Cai'er takes action, because Cai'er triggers the Sword of Reincarnation, and Yun Tian, as the Son of Reincarnation, can sense it. Yeah, the Reincarnation Constitution can sense the Sword of Reincarnation, so when I use the replica version of the Reincarnation Sword, isn't Cai'er also sensing it? Forget it, now is not the time to think about these things. Whoosh! 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 One by one, the demon wolves entered the forest, and the leading demon wolf's eyes lit up with green light, coldly scanning the surroundings. Nose undulating up and down, walking step by step forward. 3 meters. 2 meters. 1 meter. Right now. Shoo. Shoo. Two figures, one black and one purple, pierced towards the leader of the demon wolf at a speed invisible to the naked eye. Puzzy. 2 daggers, one inserted into the head of the demon wolf and the other inserted into the heart of the demon wolf. The demon wolf leader stiffened his neck and struggled to lower his head to look at a pair of cold eyes under the silver mask. He never expected these two humans to come from the Assassin's Temple until he died. There is not much difference in strength. If the demon wolf leader is on guard, he may still be able to block the attack. However, without full defense, he will undoubtedly die when facing the assassination of his peers, let alone two. When the other demon wolves reacted, Yun Tian and Cai'er had already pulled their distance and dodged onto the trunk, locking onto the next target. Ow! Brothers, bite them to death for me and avenge the boss. The demon wolf split into 2 teams and rushed towards the two of them. There were too many demon wolves, and Yun Tian rushed to Cai'er's side. The two of them exchanged a glance and then rushed directly into the wolf pack. Whenever Yun Tian locks on a demon wolf, he will launch a frontal attack on it. The demon wolf blocks Yun Tian's attack with its sharp claws, and Cai'er instantly appears behind him, piercing his head with a single blow and dying instantly. Subsequently, Cai'er locked onto the next target and launched a main attack, while Yun Tian carried out a backstabbing assassination. The two of them kept rotating among the pack of demon wolves, and wherever the 2 shadows of black and purple passed by, a demon wolf would fall. 1. 2. 17. 18. There are still the last 4 left. Yun Tian and Cai'er were leaning against each other, sweating profusely and panting heavily. The arms, thighs, and back all have footprints that are neither deep nor shallow. Kill 18 magic wolves in a row, each fatal blow requires full force, and at the beginning, you can ensure to attack the next target at the fastest speed. The consumption of spiritual power and physical strength in the later stage clearly cannot keep up with the speed, making it impossible to completely avoid the attacks of other demon wolves. Nowadays, Yun Tian and Cai'er have very little spiritual power left, and the remaining 4 magic wolves have not been used up. There's no way to continue the battle, we must break through and escape. This is Yuntian's judgment of the current situation. The two of them can still fight for 2 more magic wolves, but after killing the 2, they have no ability to resist and can only be slaughtered by the other 2 magic wolves. The 4 demon wolves were not in a hurry to attack Yuntian and Cai'er, just circling around, as if they were teasing humans and gaining pleasure. Cai'er, I'll count 3, 2, 1 later and rush out towards the direction of Odin Town. Don't stop running until you reach Odin Town, it's safe. 3, 2, 1. At the same time, the 2 of them were heading towards a demon wolf. The demon wolf seemed to have anticipated breaking through from him, but he ignored Yuntian's deadly attack and took Cai'er's attack with all his might. Before dying, he kicked Cai'er with all his might in the abdomen, flying her back. Cai'er. Yuntian knew he had miscalculated. They were not demon beasts, they were demon wolves, the true demon race. They have the same intelligence as humans, how could they not figure out their own thoughts? I'm too naive myself. Crazy. Yuntian's eyes instantly turned red and rushed towards Cai'er. Cai'er's landing point was also calculated by the demon wolf, and a demon wolf was grabbing Cai'er with one paw. Yuntian wildly burned his vitality and final spiritual power, catching up with Cai'er and holding her in his arms, turning around and using his back to resist this claw. Cai'er, who was in her arms, saw Yuntian injured and her eyes flickered in an instant. A killing intent that seemed to come from the land of Douluo instantly covered the entire battlefield. After landing, Cai'er supported Yuntian and gently placed him on the ground. Turn your head and look at the demon wolf who is seriously injured in the sky. Cai'er moved her mouth a few times, as if she had said 3 words. Then it instantly disappeared into place, even faster than during its heyday. Cai'er, don't do it. Yuntian knew that Cai'er was burning her own vitality and forcibly using the 5th level assassin skill. Burning one's own vitality in a state of madness has no side effects, but Cai'er is different. Burning one's vitality in this way can result in losing one's life if one is not careful. Ba Wang Sting. Puzzy. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Long Haochen. Requesting votes. Requesting votes. Requesting votes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8. Long Haochen. Requesting votes. Requesting votes. Requesting votes. 5th level assassin skill. Overlord Sting. Although Cai'er does not have a 5th level, the skill itself is self-evident. The demon wolf's head was instantly pierced by the sword of reincarnation. As the demon wolf fell, Cai'er had no intention of stopping and instantly locked onto another demon wolf. Overlord Sting. The sword of reincarnation was once again urged by Cai'er to kill the locked demon wolf. The demon wolf seemed to be scared and foolish, standing in place without any resistance. Bang! My head exploded. Cai'er spat out a mouthful of blood, weakly closed her eyes, and her body suspended in mid-air fell down. The fall of the 2 demon wolves only occurred in an instant, and Yuntian couldn't stop them in time, let alone being severely injured and powerless. Yuntian stood up in agony and ran over to catch Cai'er. Ahem, originally, it was burning vitality and forcibly using the 5th level assassin skill. I thought I was hiding my strength and bluffing. I like running, right? I'll give you a chance to run, see if you're running fast or if my claws are fast. The demon wolf extended its tongue, licked its claws, and rushed towards the sky. Yuntian looked at Cai'er, who had been seriously injured and unconscious in his arms, and gave a cold glance at the demon wolf, as if he had already sentenced it to death. Boom! Just as the demon wolf approached, a burst of white smoke rose, blocking his sight and instantly losing the figures of Yuntian and Cai'er. What the hell is this? Where did the white smoke come from? In addition to training in the Assassin's Temple, Yun Tian has developed many things in his spare time by relying on his talent in the field of magic potions. Cumin powder and smoke bombs are two of them. Although Yun Tian seized the system vulnerability, he chose 6 major professions at once. Yun Tian understands that learning is not about quantity, but about precision. He has already decided to major in a profession, which is now the most skilled assassin. The talents and abilities provided by the other 5 professions can be fully utilized to assist oneself. For example, the mage profession can barbecue meat, a talent in the field of magic potions, capable of studying things from past lives. Crazy talent can be unexpected summoners can. When the demon wolf swung out a few claws and scattered the white smoke, Yun Tian held Cai'er completely out of its attack range. Cai'er was very light and did not cause any burden to Yun Tian. Yun Tian endured the severe pain and ran towards Odin town. The spiritual power of Yun Tian has already bottomed out, and now he relies entirely on his remaining physical and willpower to support his body. The speed of running is just faster than that of ordinary people. The demon wolf behind him is extremely fast, and the distance is gradually getting closer. Yun Tian is gambling that he can meet that person and that he can help him block the demon wolf to buy himself some time to recover. The outer edge of the forest is only 5 kilometers away from Odin town. In the previous battle, we had to move about 3 or 4 kilometers while fighting and running. Is this the speed of a third-order assassin? How can it be like a turtle? Didn't the look in my eyes just now mean to kill me? Come kill me, why are you running? The demon wolf has arrived behind the clouds and can be killed with a single strike at any time. But at this moment, the demon wolf seemed particularly excited, chattering incessantly in his mouth. Under the mask, Yun Tian's mouth curved into a cold smile. Assassins not only kill, but also poison. Whoosh. Whoosh. Yun Tian and Mo Lang successively emerged from the dense grass and arrived at an open space. Are you injured? This is Magic Wolf. A young man, who looked about the same size as Yun Tian and was dressed in white strong clothing, exclaimed in surprise when he saw a demon wolf with black hair and green eyes growing behind Yun Tian. You're almost behind me, how could there be a demon wolf here? Yun Tian saw the young man's face and felt a sense of joy. He made the right bet. The young man with black hair and blue eyes in front of him is the chosen son of this world. Long Haochen. The cloud gently placed Cai'er on the grass. This is a third-order demon wolf. Can you help me hold him down? I need some time to recover, Yun Tian said in a deep voice. Upon hearing Yun Tian say that there was a third-order demon wolf on the other side, Long Haochen's legs visibly trembled a few times. But soon, Long Haochen's eyes showed a determined expression and he reached out his right hand to pull out the wooden sword he was carrying on his back. Holding the wooden sword tightly in both hands, staring at the demon wolf across from him. Oh! Little brat, do you think you've lived too long? Although I have not yet become a true knight, I am already a servant knight. As a knight, it is my mission to kill the demon race, let alone that you have hurt my friend. Ha ha ha, attendant knight. Do you think their 2 third-order assassins would make friends with your first-order attendant knight? It's a huge joke. Do you think you deserve it? Long Haochen's heart was shaken, and his originally firm gaze began to disperse. At this moment, the resounding and powerful voice of the clouds came from behind. No, don't listen to the temptation of the demon wolf. It's pity that you see us injured and want to save us. Knowing that the opponent is a level 4 demon wolf but dares to fight is bravery and sacrifice. You already possess the compassion, bravery, and sacrifice in the 10 rules of knights, and you are a true knight. You are a true knight. The words of Yun Tian echoed in Long Haochen's mind. I am very willing to become friends with a knight and get to know the assassin's temple, Yun Tian. Although Yun Tian closed his eyes to restore his spiritual power, every word he said came from within. At this moment, Long Haochen deserves these evaluations. Knight Temple, Haoyu a branch hall, Knight Attendant Long Haochen is willing to become friends with you, and I am also willing to fight for friends. Long Haochen shouted loudly, took a very standard knight step, and swung his wooden sword towards the enchanted wolf. At this point, he had forgotten that the opponent was a demon wolf with a gap in strength with himself. He only has one idea now, which is to block the demon wolf and buy recovery time for his friends. It's simply beyond our control, the demon wolf roared. Sending out his sharp claws, he easily blocked Long Haochen's attack and grabbed him with one claw. As his claws were about to touch Long Haochen's neck, he took a step back and miraculously avoided the attack of the demon wolf. It's interesting that a first-class knight attendant still has such reaction ability, but the difference in strength is irreparable. Today, let me break your ridiculous knight rules. The demon wolf launched an attack on Long Haochen, completely crushing him with speed and strength. Puzzy! Puzzy! During the 3 breaths, Long Haochen left paw marks on both arms and back. Ah! The demon wolf kicked Long Haochen in the abdomen, and he hit the stone like a kite with a broken string. He spat out a mouthful of blood and lay on the ground. The demon wolf licked the blood on its paws and walked step by step towards Long Haochen. Since you are so fond of seeking death, then I will fulfill you. You take a step first, and I will send your friend down to accompany you later. The demon wolf lifted its claws and aimed at Long Haochen's neck. I love making friends so much, let's go down and make more connections. Puzzy. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Goodbye, my friend. New book for tickets. For collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Goodbye, my friend. New book for tickets. Collection for collection. The claw suddenly stopped moving 3 centimeters away from Long Haochen's neck. Long Haochen felt the cold air coming from above his neck and struggled to open his eyes. A headless body of a demonic wolf stood stiff, with Yun Tian wearing a black robe and a silver mask behind him, kneeling on one knee, holding a blue long sword in both hands. The sword was inserted into the ground, supporting Yun Tian's body and preventing him from falling. Finally, it's over. Cough. Yun Tian coughed a few times, took off his mask to reveal his pale face, wiped the blood from the corners of his mouth, and slowly stood up. The long sword in his hand had disappeared. Long Haochen, how are you doing? Yun Tian helped Long Haochen up and sat against a stone. Long Haochen's breath was a bit weak. Looking at Yun Tian's pale face, he struggled and said, "You look so beautiful." After saying these words, Long Haochen fainted. Yun Tian supported Long Haochen with a black line on his face, and before fainting, he didn't say anything else, but actually said he was pretty. What are you joking about? Sha sha sha. The faint footsteps came from behind the clouds. It's simply embarrassing. A figure in white came behind the clouds and smiled. Uncle Ing, is Cai'er okay? Yun Tian helped Long Haochen lean against the stone, stood up, and looked at Ing Suifeng, asking. Ing shook her head with the wind and said seriously, "Do you still know how to care about Cai'er? Why didn't you remember when grilling meat? Even though you know you can't start a fire in the realm where the demon clan is haunted, you're still roasting meat. Do you think the demon clan is pitiful? Roast meat for them to eat. If it weren't for Cai'er's desperate battle against the demon wolf, or if it weren't for accidentally encountering a brave little ghost, you would have confessed it here today." Ing Suifeng sighed and turned her hand to Cai'er, saying, "Since your appearance, Cai'er has changed a lot, even indulging in your mischief. Perhaps you don't know what Cai'er means to the Assassin's Temple and the entire human race." Hee hee. Yun Tian sneered twice and walked over to Cai'er, stroking her beautiful hair and cheeks. "What does it mean? Does it mean that you can decide Cai'er's future without consulting her opinion? Does it mean you can turn a once cheerful little girl into a cold-blooded and ruthless killing machine? I know that Cai'er's talent does not allow her to become a greenhouse flower. She has had her mission since birth, and I also know that Master had to make this decision for the future of humanity. Cai'er is also a person with flesh and blood, let alone she is still a child. She has undergone the test of reincarnation, and her relatives are just a name to her. Have Cai'er's relatives cared about her, and have anyone given her warmth? Is it difficult to cultivate an emotional genius, as only emotionless killing machines can achieve their goals? I don't think it's difficult, it's just that you don't want it. You're just deceiving yourself. You have never listened to Cai'er's inner voice. What kind of person Cai'er wants to become and what she wants to do are all decided by you early on. Do you think Cai'er still lives like a person? Listening to Yun Tian's roar one after another, Ing followed the wind and froze in place. Silence was the most authentic answer. Shadow uncle, you have always been by Cai'er's side. I believe you understand Cai'er's situation the best. I want to accompany Cai'er and give her everything she has lost. I am also a reincarnation body, even higher than Cai'er's innate spiritual power. I can help Cai'er achieve what you want, but I only hope Cai'er can be happy in the future. Ding, favorability +1, current favorability. 90, task completed, reward obtained. Exempt from the suffering of the six senses will loss. Shadow's fist, which was carried behind by the wind, trembled, but soon released its hand and let out a sigh as if it had made some decision. Don't say these things to your master. He's too old-fashioned. I watched Cai'er grow up, and I still feel sorry for him. What you said is all right. We apologize to Cai'er. Killing the demon emperor requires more than an emotionless machine. I hope you can make Cai'er live like a person. After a brief silence. He has some skin injuries, and it won't be long before he wakes up. Let's go back. Ing Suifeng's mood was a bit complicated. He never expected to be scolded by an 8 or 9-year-old kid, nor did he expect Yun Tian to do this for Cai'er. Uncle Ing, wait a minute. Long Haochen is my friend and he saved my life. Can you help him? Shadow nodded with the wind, took a step out, and squatted down next to Long Haochen. She used one hand to explore Long Haochen's body, not even letting go of his small face. After a moment, Ing frowned with the wind and said to Yun Tian, his aptitude is above average, but his skeletal development is insufficient. It's hard to say what his future achievements will be. At most, his aptitude will stop at the Earth Knight. But you're right, he's a child with a chivalrous temperament. An excellent knight, especially a guardian knight, requires more character than his aptitude. Since he rescued the Holy Son and Virgin of our Assassin's Temple, he deserves a reward. A white light lit up from the chest of the shadow in the wind, and the spirit furnace suspended above Long Haochen's head. Blue flames shuttled through Long Haochen's body. After a moment, Ing withdrew from the spiritual furnace with the wind and spoke wearily, all right, I have used the power of the spiritual furnace to help him sort out the 12 meridians and burn out the impurities in them, at least elevating his potential by one level. Thank you, Uncle Ing. Ing waved her hand with the wind and said, he deserves it. Our Assassin's Temple is not stingy. All right, he'll wake up soon, and we should go back too. Shadow walked with the wind to Cai'er's side and picked her up. Yun Tian took out his dagger and carved a paragraph on the ground next to Long Haochen, then followed the shadow and left with the wind. The gentle breeze hit Long Haochen's cheek, and he opened his eyes to find that all the injuries on his body had healed. Strange, why does it feel like it's getting stronger? Long Haochen stood up and looked around, but couldn't find Yun Tian's figure. It seems that they have healed my injury. Yun Tian, I remember you now. I don't know if I can see you again in the future. When Long Haochen bent down to pick up the wooden sword, he saw that words seemed to be engraved on the ground. My knight friend, thank you very much for saving us. We are leaving, and I believe we will see each other again in the future. I hope you will not disappoint me when the time comes. By the way, the package next to you contains a few pieces of roasted pork, which are very delicious. Remember to take them home. Goodbye, my friend. Yuntian. Long Haochen picked up his wooden sword and a package beside him, wiped out the handwriting on the ground, and smiled happily as he looked at the sky. Yuntian, what kind of person are you? End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Strawberry-flavored lollipops. Requesting votes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 Strawberry-flavored lollipops. Requesting votes. Exorcism Pass, Assassin's Temple. 240.5, 3 levels and 3 levels. Shadow followed the wind and looked at the numbers displayed above the instrument, taking a deep breath. Yuntian's talent is truly terrifying. In a short period of time, he not only broke through the 3rd level, but also rose to the 3rd level in a row. Since you have already broken through the 3rd level, you can start learning the advanced skills of assassins later. Cai'er has not yet awakened. In the next few days, I will narrow the gap in training between you and Cai'er. When Cai'er wakes up, you can start training simultaneously. Yuntian nodded. If he had only mastered one assassin skill at the time, this experience would not have hurt Cai'er. Before the 3rd level, all assassins in the Assassin's Temple would only be trained in basic movement skills and would not learn any assassin skills. Once you break through the 3rd level, you can learn higher level assassin skills above the 4th level. Although unable to unleash the full power of advanced assassin skills, they can gain enormous benefits in combat. In the next few days, Yuntian went crazy training and didn't give himself any rest time unless he was tired enough to fall down. Ing Suifeng was deeply shocked by the perseverance of Yuntian. I also have a reincarnation constitution, even higher than Cai'er's innate spiritual power. I can help Cai'er achieve what you want, but I only hope Cai'er can be happy in the future. The words of Yuntian echoed in Ing Suifeng's mind. A child aged 8 or 9 not only said these words, but also spoke and lived up to them. This perseverance made Ing Suifeng feel ashamed, as they were not even as good as a child. Xiaotian, Cai'er is awake. Go and take a look. Shadow followed the wind and said to the sweaty sky on the training ground. Yuntian heard Cai'er wake up and instantly disappeared into place, rushing towards Cai'er's room. Bark. The door was pushed open by the clouds, and Cai'er was sitting on the bed with her head lowered, staring blankly at the medicine in front of her. Upon hearing the door being pushed open, Cai'er looked up and saw Yuntian gasping for breath and covered in dirt. She leapt onto Yuntian's body. Cai'er, come down quickly. I'm dirty. Yuntian gently hugged Cai'er and gently patted her back. Cai'er lifted her head and looked at Yuntian. Their eyes intertwined, and as they looked at each other so closely, Yuntian suddenly felt his heart beating faster and his ears burning slightly. Cai'er seemed to notice something unusual in the sky, jumped down, and sat quietly by the bed. Yuntian's little heart thumped and he cursed inwardly, realizing that he had been embarrassed by a little girl. It was really useless. Looking at the steaming bowl of medicine on the bed frame, Yuntian squatted in front of Cai'er and asked, "Why doesn't Cai'er drink the medicine?" Cai'er grabbed Yuntian's hand and started writing. "This is so bitter, I don't want to drink it." Yuntian smiled and stood up to pick up the medicine, sitting next to Cai'er. "Cai'er, the good medicine is bitter in your mouth. You almost had an accident to save me. I feel guilty these days for not protecting you well, which hurt you. So you need to get better quickly so that I can rest assured." Uncle Ing said, "You're not in any major trouble now, but the root cause of the injury needs to be repaired with medication, otherwise it will leave serious sequelae." Cai'er frowned and looked at the dark medicine in the bowl, showing a look of disgust. "Cai'er, wait for me a moment, I'll go get something." Yuntian put down the medicine and ran out, just as he collided with the shadow and followed the wind. "Xiaotian, did Cai'er drink the medicine?" "Not yet. I'll go get something and come back soon." "Don't worry, Uncle Ing. I'll let Cai'er drink it." Shadow looked at the back of the clouds in the wind and let out a deep sigh. The influence of Yuntian on Cai'er is no longer ordinary. In the past, Cai'er would follow all arrangements and would not refuse even if it was something she did not want. This time I asked Cai'er to drink medicine, but Cai'er surprisingly refused me for the first time, refusing to drink medicine. There's no way, Ing Sui Feng had to go find Yuntian. I'm afraid only Yuntian can make Cai'er drink medicine obediently now. Perhaps. At least Cai'er has her own ideas in this way. I hope the temple master can help. Soon, Yuntian ran back. Cai'er, I brought you a very delicious thing. This is called a lollipop, I made it myself, but it's so sweet. Do Cai'er want to try it? Yuntian held a pink lollipop in both hands and handed it to Cai'er. Cai'er's eyes lit up and she was instantly attracted by the shape of the lollipop. She nodded, indicating that she wanted to eat. Yuntian held a lollipop and handed it to Cai'er. Cai'er glanced at Yuntian, then slowly leaned her mouth towards the lollipop and extended her small tongue, swiping over it. The sweet taste of strawberries from the tip of her tongue instantly spread throughout her body. Cai'er couldn't help but swallow her saliva and nodded happily at Yuntian. Yuntian could tell from Cai'er's gaze that she was greedy. Just as Cai'er was about to take a second bite, Yuntian instantly withdrew his hand. Cai'er's tongue fell empty, and she instantly pouted her mouth, staring fiercely at Yuntian. Yuntian picked up the medicine and raised an eyebrow in front of Cai'er, saying, as long as Cai'er drinks the medicine, he will give Cai'er all the lollipops to eat. How about that? Cai'er glanced at the dark medicine in the bowl, then looked at the pink lollipop in Yuntian's other hand, licking her tongue as if savoring the taste of the lollipop. I looked back and forth several times, seeming to be conflicted. Finally, I gritted my teeth, picked up the medicine, frowned, and gulped it all down. After seeing that Cai'er had finished drinking the medicine, Yuntian immediately stuffed the lollipop into Cai'er's small mouth. Feeling the sweetness of the lollipop, Cai'er's eyebrows gradually relaxed, and her small mouth kept sucking on the lollipop. Yuntian touched Cai'er's head, took the bowl, and said, Cai'er is really good. After drinking the medicine, take a good rest. I still have some training to complete. I'll come see Cai'er after I finish training. Seeing that Yuntian was about to leave, Cai'er jumped up and hugged him on the back of Yuntian, riding on his back with her fingers. Cai'er doesn't need to rest, Cai'er will accompany you to train. This just as Yuntian was struggling, Ing Sui Feng pushed the door in and said, Cai'er is fine. After drinking the spiritual medicine, you can fully recover within an hour. Let Cai'er go with you. Now that your progress has caught up with Cai'er, starting from this afternoon, you should start learning a new course together. In order to synchronize the progress of Yuntian and Cai'er, Ing Sui Feng has been slowing down Yuntian's training speed in recent days. More importantly, she is afraid that Yuntian's hard work may backfire and accidentally damage his foundation. In the following year, Ing followed the wind and conducted hellish training with Yuntian and Cai'er. Yuntian and Cai'er have successively broken through the 4th level, becoming the youngest 4th-level assassins in the past 1,000 years of the Assassin's Temple. Odin Town. In a courtyard, inside a golden light shield with a height of 5 and a diameter of 10. A middle-aged man with a shocked expression stared blankly at the golden light above Long Haochen's head. Dad, what's wrong with me? Long Haochen quickly asked when he saw Long Xingyu's expression. The Son of Light. Surprisingly, he is the Son of Light. God bless our human race. God bless our Night Temple. End of this chapter.